Championship now, race number 2 for these guys. Red lights already on and away they go, and once again Robert Bremner with a lightning start down towards Duffus Dip there, and up against the big rover of John Kinman and Raymond Boyd, well and truly in the mix. And a bit of an issue, Alistair Bapty going up the inside there. What a start that's been for Alistair Bapty. Cracking launch off the line. He got alongside Andy Walker as they make their way down towards Duffus Dip. Jimmy Crow's in the mix as well. So Jimmy Crow will be pretty happy with that one as the leaders all make their way up over the crest of the Arnold Clark chicane. Was Mario Ferrari's bonnet open as we saw him come down the first corner? Not 100% sure of that. As the leading cars, look at Bapty trying as hard as he can in that little feat to catch up with Jimmy Crow. And he's going to have to drive the wheels of it now. There's the man who retired from race number 1. Keep your eyes on that car, the green number 78 car of Andrew Graham, the Triumph TR8. Let's see how Andrew gets on in this race and see if he can get through the pack, because he was battling pretty well. Remember with Raymond Boyd, that man there going through the shot in his blue Porsche, the turbocharged Porsche now. Robert Bremner though, over the top of Duffus, nice and controlled so far. John Kinman on the other hand, much more reserved than we did see him, in race number 1. All these guys just starting to get up to speed and get on with it, trying to bring the tyres in. They will have had one warm-up lap, remember, but some of these cars need maybe more than one warm-up lap just to get the optimum temperature in. As into the pit lane comes Mario Ferrari, the front left of the bonnet. You can see the bonnet catching on. He'll be desperate to get one of his team members to latch that back on so he can get back out. As Bapty looks at the inside area, Crow at the hairpin. Yeah, good move, Alistair. I take my hat off to you there, buddy. That was well executed on the brakes. Nice move towards the apex. Jimmy Crow saw him coming, didn't try and force the issue. As he's in so many other classes, possible contact could have been made there. Jimmy Crow knew he was faster on the straight, pulls out and passes him. Good sporting overtaking there. Jimmy then defends in towards Duffus Dip. Now this is going to get heated as they come down towards McIntyre's. Will Bapty again throw the car up the inside? No, he goes to the outside. He looks for the cutback on the inside of the exit the corner as Andrew Graham appears and into shot and then disappears from shot into the green TR8. But he's made up masses of ground, as Andrew Graham. He'll be happy with how he's doing so far. Although he should be on the back of this man here, Raymond Boyd, as through the Arnold Clark chicane. Look at Alistair Bapty almost pushing that gorgeous little Mark escort of Jimmy Crow's up the back straight through Clark corner. Named after the late great Jim Clark, and we should mention that this is the Jim Clark Memorial meeting that you're watching this race from. So great to see the classics, and great to see them going through. Named after one of the greatest F1 drivers of all time, Jim Clark. Alistair Graham has made up a couple of more places. Well, he's got past Alistair Bapty, and one would imagine he will get past Jimmy Crow pretty quickly as well as they come towards Duffus Dip. The leading 1, 2, 3 all go through. Robert Bremner over the crest off the chicane and accelerates up the back straight. Through comes John Kinman with a big power slide on the exit of the corner, and neat as you like, Raymond Boyd, a man who doesn't put too much pressure and strain through the car. He looks after his car, Raymond, but he still drives it extremely quickly. Andrew Graham has now got past both these cars as Alistair Bapty still has another good long look, and he's looking at the inside of Jimmy Crow here. It's going to be tight, and the for sale sign on the back window of the X19 Fiat. Whether that helps him, I don't know, but he gets through at Clark Corner and he will be happy with that as the leaders go over the line now. Bapty and Crow still glued together as they come through the hairpin. Jimmy Crow is faster on the straight, we can see that. Alistair Bapty trying all sorts of tactics to get himself back on the inside now as they go down towards Duffus Dip. Try and keep that position, see if he could break that a little bit later in the lighter, more nimbler Fiat X19. Bremner up the back straight. Car sounds fabulous. Kinman up the back straight, sounding equally as fabulous. And yep, Bapty goes up the inside into McIntyre's. These guys really making it a race, giving us something to really get our teeth into as Robert Bremner kicks up a little bit of dust on the way into the hairpin and locking the inside wheel in the front of that big triplex rover was John Kinman. So the race kind of almost at halfway point now as we see Duncan O'Neill going through the top of Duffus Dip. Where's Duncan Fox? Well, it's guaranteed to not be too far from him, that's for sure, as they go over the cement dust with the oil dry, kicked up by an earlier incident which we saw a car on the track at the top of Duffus Dip there. Now O'Neill and Fox, not in that order, are going to have to watch for the fast Bremner coming up. There he is, Bremner goes through the chicane, so Fox first of all is going to have to watch for the leader coming up. The blue flags from the fabulous marshals which we have here at Knocker Racing Circuit. by the SMMC. They will be giving these drivers warning flags. The blue flag means somebody's coming up behind you. And Bruce Mitchell, no, it's not been a weekend for him to have to remember. Bruce Mitchell looks like he's retired on pit entrance there, so a few of the marshals and possibly mechanics giving him a little quick push back in, because what we don't want is pit entry being blocked. And hopefully one of those guys was keeping a little eye over their shoulder for anything coming in behind them. Longstaff, Michael Longstaff goes through and he accelerates up the back straight. And car number 10, Andy Walker, going through as well. Michael Longstaff better watch out because you've got Martin Ramsey homing in pretty quickly behind them. Now that's the biggest gap we've seen between those guys in quite some considerable time. Alistair Bapty has managed to put 2 or 3 decent laps together, which shouldn't come as a surprise to this commentator because he knows how good Alistair is, but he's put a good couple of laps together and put a bit of a space between himself and the man Jimmy Crowe, who was basically velcroed to each other all the way around for the earlier part of this race. Robert Bremner, well, he's managed to dispose of the lap traffic pretty quickly and pretty easily. The guy's not making it difficult for him, as they wouldn't do, but having that extra bit of power, he's just managing to weave his way in and out of them up the straight. John Kinman quite a bit behind him now, and Raymond Boyd a fair old chunk behind John Kinman. And look at this, so Jimmy Crowe, he really has dropped off the back of Alistair Bapty, and that's come as quite a surprise. Well, hopefully Jimmy can get that space back as Andy Walker makes it nice and easy for Robert Bremner to go through at the hairpin. And listen to that again. Wow, that thing sounds absolutely fabulous. Underneath the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge, flames out the back. Over the apex curb, but Duff is dipping down the hill. He goes very, very steep hill that. You've got to have your wits about you, as John Kinman showed us earlier on. It's easy to make a mistake, and he wasn't the only one, because we saw Bruce Mitchell having a spin down there. And I wonder if that's what started off Bruce Mitchell's bad weekend. They had a spin at Duffus, he spun at the hairpin, stuck it in the gravel trap, and he's now retired from race number 2 as well. Never mind. He will be back at the next meeting, I can guarantee you. He'll be back just as quick. Blue flags again waving for Michael Longstaff as John Kinman comes up to lap him. Goes up the back straight and makes the move stick before Clark Corner. Robert Bremner again through the hairpin, bit of opposite lock, a dab of oppo, as they would be saying in the paddock, I would imagine. And he goes up the main straight and once again under the bridge to click off another lap. So things have gone a little bit quieter now. As you can see, Raymond Boyd there is still holding off Andrew Graham, and the next car should be the X19 of Alistair Bapty as we watch for the run into the hairpin to see if it is. To wait a very, very long time, and that, well, I'm not really sure what that car is coming into view. It's too far away for me. That's actually the 2 XR2s, and there's Alistair Bapty at the back of him. So O'Neill and Fox come through, and Bapty just off the back. The little X19 will accelerate up the straight and pass both, if not one of these Fiestas, before they get to Duffus Dip. Beautiful shot of Robert Bremner coming through Clark Corner of the crest. John Kinman made that a bit tricky for himself. Very late manoeuvre on Andy Walker to get past before Clark Corner there. So still tramping on as much as he can. Jimmy Crowe's just gone a lap down, so that makes me think that Jimmy is in trouble, to tell the truth. He doesn't normally go down laps, and he has drifted off the back of Alistair Bapty quite quickly. So has he got a little bit of a problem in that beautiful, beautiful Mark 1 Escort? We will only have to find out after the race before the next meeting. Underneath the bridge comes Raymond Boyd, and look at that, Boyd up the inside. Beautiful overtaking manoeuvre, made that look very good. Andy Walker didn't make it difficult for him, I've got to say, but it wasn't a pass for position, it was going a lap down. Andrew Graham now goes up the inside in the big TR8. Oh, through Clark Corner for Bremner. That was pretty trick. That looked really nice. We've seen a lot of these V8 cars racing over the years. It started with Willie Toy when he used to come up with his TR8s, and he gave us some exciting driving styles. With Willie Robertson as well, the late Willie Robertson, always sideways. And John Kinman is the next man to bring his style of driving in the big Rover, the big ex-Tom Walkinshaw racing liveried car. And it's great to see that Robert Bremner has now joined the ranks. The more of these big V8s, the better. We've lost Tommy Gilmartin. We'd love to see Tommy Gilmartin come back. Harry Simpson, all these guys who were always at the front challenging for race wins. And we used to have Morgans as well of Andrew Smith. And Andrew was always a very fast, classy driver. A bit the same like Raymond Boyd, always nice and smooth and in line, but fiendishly fast. As Andy Walker makes his way up the back straight towards Clark Corner once again. This XR2 battle fights on. O'Neill still ahead of Fox, only just. But up towards the checker flag comes Robert Bremner. It's been a demonstration drive. He comes up, he takes the checker flag, and what a fabulous raceman. He will be absolutely delighted with that one, and so he should be. It's been a double race win for him. John Kinman's going to come through in second place, only just from Raymond Boyd, and only just will Boydie hold on to third place from Andrew Graham. So things really getting close towards the end there. The next car through we would hope would be the X19B. There he is, Alistair Bapty into the hairpin. He's between Michael Longstaff and Martin Ramsey. Walker crosses the line. Here comes Longstaff, and Alistair Bapty will be delighted. That's a good result for him. He fought hard with Jimmy Crowe at the beginning, and Jimmy Crowe, unfortunately, whether he's got a technical issue or not, Jimmy Crowe dribbled off the back and was nowhere to be seen. So fabulous race by the Classic Sports and Saloon Car Championship. Great to see a good number of cars on track, and Robert Bremner decides to take another lap just to get his money's worth as O'Neill and Fox cross the line in their XR2s.